Hello. So here we have with us the star from Lush Cosmetics, and I want her to say something nice. So here you are sitting with me, Rags, and Miche on the other end. Miche, take it away.
Hello. So hi, my name's Miche. I look after the brand for Lush Middle East. I've been with Lush for about 12 years now, and I'm very excited to talk about the company and some of our strong ethics and morals that we stand behind. One of my most I guess the one that's biggest to my heart is our fighting animal testing ethics, which I'm very excited to talk about today.
Absolutely. And Miche, do you know that's why you are on my panel? Because we at the team One with Rags believe anything that's close to our heart and anything that helps keep our nature intact, we should definitely go out there and talk about your work. So welcome to this interview, Miche, and thank you for your time in advance.
Yes.
So I myself believe that, yeah, are you okay? I myself believe that, I'd like to start by saying this small quote: animals share with us the privilege of having a soul. How deep is that, isn't it, Miche? And it's this whole wave that I'm in myself now with compassion for animals, and I'm realizing how important veganism is, to channel for a better spiritual life. You guys just caught my eye and you had to be on this panel. So Miche, without further ado, quickly tell my viewers, how do we actually know when a product is vegan? How can I tell that this is a vegan product?
Fine. Okay. So I think one of the important things to understand first is the difference between vegan and vegetarian, because a lot of times they kind of get mixed up into one. So people who are vegetarian, right? So people who are vegetarian won't eat meat, right? So they won't eat the actual animal, if you will. Okay. Right. People who are vegan take that one step further and won't eat any products that come from any animal in any form, if you will. So they won't eat or drink milk, eggs. Some even go as far as honey, for example, because that's coming from an insect. So that's how you classify vegan. At Lush, we would consider honey in the vegan category. So with Lush, everything's 100% vegetarian. And we're about, every time we bring in new products and remove products, we normally sit between 75 and 80% vegan, meaning that there's also no dairy, no yogurt, no egg, or anything of that sort. Often when you're shopping, if you look at a product at Lush, for example, you can see that there's this little label here with the V. Now this is approved by the this is the Vegetarian Society. Or if you look at our pots, you'll see this little logo here, and that says vegan. So that's how we differentiate it at Lush, but often you'll see little fighting bunnies or animals on the back of products that you are purchasing, and it will say suitable for vegetarians or vegan. Normally, if a company is living that lifestyle, they like to shout out about it so that it's easy for the consumers to find them.
Right. Brilliant. And so nicely explained this one.
Thank you.
Also, what do the changes in animal testing policies or mean? I've been reading a little bit about flight to bring to our attention.
Sorry, you were a little bit delayed there, so I didn't hear the middle bit of that. Can you repeat the question?
I can. Yes, I can. I was asking, what do the changes in animal testing policies cite or mean? Did you hear that? Did you get that, Miche?
Yeah, can you just repeat your last little bit? What does what mean? Sorry?
No, that's all right. What do the changes in animal testing policies cite or mean?
So the changes of animal testing policies recently? Yeah. So I think I don't know as much about the wider industry. I know within our company, we take it quite seriously in a lot of different countries, and even, when you're looking at the states, states by states are putting in different policies towards animal testing. So at Lush, we don't test any of our products on animals whatsoever, and we will not work with companies who also are testing any of their ingredients on animals. So for example, say that we source lavender from a company, and they also provide rose essential oil, but they're testing the rose on animals, we will not work for them. However, we will give them an opportunity to change their process so they can learn ways to then make sure that everything that they're doing is animal testing free, and cruelty free in that sense. Yeah. So
you make sure that it's compatible with the Lush policies before you start with your
exactly. And we'll give the
process.
company, tools and, you know, training on how they can become cruelty free and not test on animals, so that it's not just like, oh, we don't want to work with you, continue to do what you're doing. It's, hey, why don't we work on changing this together? And slowly but surely more companies can feel comfortable not testing on animals.
Brilliant. Miche, I know many of our companies also will be watching this when you said that part. And I really do hope that people join in the bandwagon, and, you know, we should all eventually work towards this. So well said. Sorry about the internet connection. I think it's just a delay from our side.
It's okay.
Thank you, Miche. So, so vegan cosmetics are the same as being cruelty free. Am I saying this right? Is this the proper understanding?
Yeah, I think cruelty free is kind of a hard, I find it to be hard to understand. It be kind of a gray line, right? Because everyone's version of what is cruel can be a little bit different, right? So some people might live a cruelty-free life, but think that eating the meat is okay, but they won't wear it in their cosmetics, right? Because historically humans eat animals, so that's not cruel. But to test my lipstick on an animal, that I think is cruel. So I do feel like there's a little bit of a gray line there. But generally speaking, if you do live a full cruelty-free lifestyle, it would very much match up with vegan. And veganism, not just in terms of how you eat food, but also are you carrying a leather bag? Does your pillow have real feathers inside of it?
Yeah, I think it's a lifestyle.
Pom-pom on your hat, is that real fur? So it transfers into a bunch of other areas of your life.
Yeah, this is a lifestyle. So it's right for people to say I'm vegetarian or vegan, but then there should be a fine line of understanding. Like you rightly said, what are you doing in your basic everyday lifestyle? You know, how are we taking this a step forward? Thanks for that insight, Miche. My next question to you should be, I know you don't test on animals. Is that part right? So you never test on animals at any point during your production?
Yes, correct. And like I said, we won't even purchase from companies that entertain animal testing. Another thing that Lush does, which is absolutely phenomenal, is they have something called the Spring Prize, where they have about a 250,000 pound prize for young scientists, entrepreneurs, politicians, journalists, you name it, anyone who's trying to find alternative ways to animal testing and benefit all industries. So again, it's not just about cosmetic industry. Cosmetic industry is a big problem, obviously, but they've got a big prize with judges and a whole panel that they do. I think it's every other year now to try to help combat animal testing altogether. You'll also find that Lush does not trade in China, and even though that could be a massive market for us, we refuse to do so because the country. The country forces you to test products on animals in order to sell your trade there. So we won't even go into China for that purpose.
Yeah, I'm glad you said this, Miche. You know, I did read about this before our interview, and I honestly even had that on the questionnaire. But I wasn't sure if this is the right time to cite this out. But thank you for saying it, because it is what it is, isn't it, at the end of the day?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You know, and that's where I really fall in love with Lush all the time, because they could be making so much more money, but they don't want the money if that means that they're going to have to go against their ethics and what the company's ingrained in.
Sure. I think we strike a good chord between one-on-one and Lush then, because we follow exactly the same practice. And like I said, companies and organizations like Lush and many others that I've interviewed in my calendar, you guys are such an inspiration and you keep us going. So thank you. The next generation is looking, watching, and learning from you guys.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah.
So my next question should be, what ingredients should we avoid to encourage a cruelty-free product? Now, this is a very important question.
Yeah.
So if you
Yeah.
can give us an insight on this.
Of course. So ingredients in terms of, do you want to go more food, general, cosmetics?
I think let's stick to what the viewers can resonate with the most. So you take your pick on that
Okay,
one.
fine. We can kind of do a blend because especially
Let's
with
do
our
that.
products,
Yeah, let's do that.
yeah, because they're made with such natural ingredients, they kind of go hand in hand, right? So obviously staying away from meat, that's going to be your biggest thing. Living more of at least a vegetarian lifestyle. And it's not that you have to go vegetarian right overnight, right? It's even if you just say one day a week, for 1 week a month, you'll go vegetarian. You can take small steps towards going there. I know you can, so meat's a big thing, obviously. What you do have to watch out for in cosmetics is a lot of time soap bases and the fat that they use to create soap is made from a meat-based glycerin. So that is something for you to look out for. There's a lot of hidden meat across the industry that you wouldn't think about. So for example, at Lush, all of our soap bases are a vegetarian soap base. Which they've actually shared that soap base out again, so other companies can use that and not feel like they need to go the meat route, if you will. Cheese and dairy and eggs is a very sad industry when you really look into it. So that's more when we're talking cruelty, that you're not killing the animal, but the type of environment and atmosphere and how those animals are treated is not so great. And obviously that stress and how they're treated goes in to what they're producing. So I know recently, again, Lush, we used to use eggs in a lot of our products, but we felt that even though we knew our chickens were cage-free and were able to roam around, they were cage-free and free range. When we traced the whole process back to then maybe where that company was getting the chicks from, we weren't comfortable with what that whole process looked like. So we've now removed eggs from all of our products and we're now egg free. And we've been inspired by the vegan cooking community and are using aquafaba, which is the chickpeas really, as a replacement for egg in even some of our hair care and skincare products. So I'd probably say your biggest ones are meat and dairy and eggs. Those are the main industries. And then if you really want to dive into it, things like honey and I'd probably say honey is another big one to watch out for.
Honey, really? Oh my goodness. I know a lot of our Indian viewers are watching this right now and we are big on honey, Miche, you know? Honey even for skin application and all of that. My word.
Yeah, it's just making sure it's ethically sourced, because I'm sure you guys have seen all over Facebook and stuff that the honeybees are dying because of all the pesticides and all of the chemicals and pollution that we're putting out. And if they're not taking care of the bees and they're factory farming the bees and the honey, you're just not getting a nice pure honey anymore. And we obviously need those bees to pollinate the world and continue to transfer that pollen for all the fruits and vegetables and stuff that we eat.
Wow, this is something worth recording, worth sharing, and worth pushing out, because you know the gray line here is, Miche, I'd like to say before I go on to my next question, we all know about the basics, right? So the basic thing about silkworms and how silk is made. And I was doing this fabulous interview with a stylist the other day and we started talking about silk, and then we started getting our facts out, and it's, you know, it boiled my blood when I read so much about how and we're like flaunting that outfit. It could just be like a silk top, but hey, do you even know what you're wearing? So you know,
well, it's a big thing with fur too. So sadly, a lot of main producers, this is how low they view an animal life, if you will, is that say even I don't want to name any specific retail company, but you might go to a cheap shop in any mall and get like one of those cute hats that have the pom-pom on the top, right? And you would assume, oh, it's only 20 dirhams. It's not real fur.
I'm guilty of buying that for my 10-year-old girl.
But when you look at the label, a lot of times it is real fur, because for them, let's say they've bought 2 bunny rabbits, right?
Hmm.
Those rabbits then produce and produce and produce and produce and produce. So that's actually cheaper for them than creating a synthetic hair to go onto that hat. So even if you're going into these cheap shops where you wouldn't think it's real leather or you wouldn't think that it's real fur, just make yourself a label reader as much as you can when it comes to the tags on your shirts and your product and your food. Just have a look, because you would be surprised what might be inside. A lot of cheese actually as well isn't vegetarian. There's something called rennet inside that you have to look out for. So it's mind-blowing sometimes.
My mom doesn't eat the rennet cheese, Miche, so now
Yeah.
I know why.
Yeah.
Now I know why. So
Yeah.
let's talk about the vegan beauty effect. What do you think will be the future of the beauty industry? I like
Yeah.
this question.
Yeah, I do too, because I think there's going to be a day that if you're not vegan and you are not cruelty free in cosmetics, you will be on a downward spiral in terms of sales for your company. I think consumers are getting more and more in the know. I think people are becoming more passionate about it. The more that videos are leaked and articles, and we become more well educated with the internet and everything. You know, and there's a couple of really great pioneers out there that why wouldn't you choose, you know, if there's the same quality product, but one wasn't tested on animals and you can feel a little bit more, you know, you can feel good about purchasing that item, then why wouldn't you go for the cruelty-free option?
Absolutely, absolutely. Well said that, Niche. And a lot of my tribe watching you when we release this will realize, and they will know so many other facts. So we should keep you on our, you should be on our
And
phone.
you can
Come
do
in.
quick Google searches and find out what companies are cruelty free and what companies are not. I would say my biggest advice is just making sure you look up who their mother company is. So, you know, you might walk into Sephora, there's a ton of different brands, but a lot of them are then owned by the larger parent company. And it's important to look at the ethics and morals of those parent companies.
Yeah. This is nicely said. You know, we really, actually, you know, we don't pay attention. So this is nicely said. This should give us food for thought after this interview. You've already answered the part where I asked you, how can we go cruelty free? I think you've said a lot about that. What changes can we make in our lifestyle other than, you know, what you cited about the food, in particular with cosmetic industry? Do you want to tell my viewers?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, you know, do some research before you go and buy that new lipstick, that new mascara, that new eyeshadow. Stick to companies that you know that you can trust. I know for me, if I can say, a company that I love and I get my makeup from all the time is Urban Decay, because I know that they don't test on animals. Always staying on top of that though, because companies change their policies all the time. But do a little bit of your pre-research before you do go out and buy your cosmetics. Look for some of those labels, but also don't assume that just because they don't have a label doesn't mean that it isn't vegetarian or vegan. Because for example, these vegetarian society approvals, there's a cost behind it. It's a whole big company. And if you're buying from a smaller local company, they might not have the funds or the means to be able to get the official sign of approval. So just get good at reading the ingredients, doing some research beforehand. And then when you find that company that you love, continue to support that company and be vocal about it, because the more that the consumer pushes back, the more that those big retailers and those big companies have to change what they're producing is all based on what we're buying, right? So encourage your friends, try to convert one more person to your new favorite cruelty-free makeup brand.
Nish, I love your answers, and I can tell you there's so much to learn. I love how you're so efficiently and so effortlessly saying, you know, you don't have to look for this, and we know you are and you belong to Lush for so many years, but at the same time you are keeping in mind, you know, the facets of these smaller organizations. And so I love that part about you, the compassion. Keep it going, girl.
Thank you.
Yeah. What are the common logos? You know, I know you're showing us the V and the vegetarian. So what are the common logos that we seek before we buy a brand, just to be sure we're on this page?
Yeah, so a couple things. A quick Google search is always great too. So what cruelty-free cosmetics, food brands, clothing brands, you know, that's always great to do before you go out and go shopping. Like I showed you before, there's this one, the Vegan Society,
Yeah.
Vegan Society approved.
Yeah.
A lot of times you'll see little V's, or again, in our product, you'll see this cute little vegan logo
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
You'll also a lot of times see there's like a little bunny rabbit, like a silhouette of a bunny
I've
rabbit
seen
on some.
those. I've seen.
Yeah, I believe is for cruelty free. And I'd probably say those are the main ones. A lot of times you'll just see like a V on things, or if you're ever looking at a logo, I know if I go into M&S, I like going into M&S because they'll literally have a label on it that says suitable for vegetarians, suitable for vegans. So I can
Right.
feel really comfortable purchasing that
Right.
sandwich, or you know, that cheese, for example. I know that it's vegetarian.
Yeah.
So just looking at, you know, a lot of times, again, like I said, if it is vegetarian, they'll shout out about it and they'll write, this is vegetarian, or suitable for vegetarians, or suitable for vegans. So just look out for some of those keywords.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for this, Miche. What inspired Lush Cosmetics to go animal free? Were you always animal free, or is this something that's over the years?
Yeah, no, I mean, from when I read Lush's history, they have always been animal free, and it's purely just because the founders, the main man, the kind of face of the brand is Mark Constantine. A lot of people don't know this, but he actually worked with Anita Roddick created some of the original products in the Body Shop at the very beginning of it
Oh,
all.
right. Okay.
And just as they started to grow, they had different beliefs and wanted
Yeah.
to go separate ways.
Okay.
And Mark really wanted to go that full kind of hippie way at the time, if you will. And he didn't want any of his products to be tested on animals. I mean, when they first opened their Lush shops, they're literally hand making all of our stuff. It's not like we're getting a soap from a factory somewhere else and bringing it in. We're making it in our factories, and we've got people who trust Lush enough to try those products. And a lot of it, basically, if you've created it, you're trying it, and then they'll try it on some other skin type. So from the start of Lush, animal cruelty has never been part of the brand. And actually, as the company has grown and has gotten larger and more well known, like I said, they'll share our soap base so that they can go palm free and meat free in that soap base. They're doing the spring prize where they're encouraging anyone across the world to help go against animal testing, and encourage other companies to go cruelty free. So they're all about education now, which I think is really beautiful. Like the cruelty free part is almost like a obvious for Lush.
I know it's become the next big thing. Like I said, with the newer generations and the youth. I don't know, Miche, if I mentioned to you earlier, but I'm a Dubai born and raised kiddo myself.
Okay.
So
all right.
I'm the best person to tell you this. When Lush really, when you guys became big in our malls, so it was a rave, honestly, it was like a rave with us, we were like high school at that time, but we all wanted to own something from Lush just because we wanted to show off to our kitties and caddies that, hey, look, we're animal free, we're cruelty free. So well done. And I think somewhere all of this actually stays in our head, doesn't it? So yeah.
Thank you start small and it slowly becomes more and more of a lifestyle, right? So it's just like any commitment in your life, right?
True. What's the story behind using less plastic and going plastic free? I read about this. I've done my homework well.
Great. Yeah, I mean, I think it's the same thing because Lush was created by a family. It was just things that they were passionate about when they first created the company. So about 70, again, when we bring new ranges in and out, our approximate number is about, I think 70% of our product is what we call naked or packaged free. And you can even feel good at the product that is in packaging like this. This is recycled packaging. So you can feel good about all the packaging that you're using. Lush's big mission is that, again, specifically cosmetics, you go and buy a really beautiful perfume that's in a plastic packaging that's then wrapped in, a box that then's wrapped in paper, more plastic that then's put in a plastic bag, and you bring it home and it's all so unnecessary and it goes straight into landfill. So it has been a mission for Lush. We have 3 shops now, I believe, in the UK, Italy, and Germany that are completely packaged free shops. So when you go in, there's not a black pot in sight. Everything is naked that you can purchase there. And we've got some really nice like reusable tins or cork pots that you can use to take the product home with you. But yeah, it's just been, again, part of what's been ingrained in the company from the start. And what's cool is we have a recycling program because these are, I don't know if you know, but when you look on your plastics, there's a little triangle on the bottom and it'll be a number. And those numbers get recycled differently. So because this is recycled plastic, it's a number 5. And even your normal recycling facilities won't take a number 5 because it's much harder to break down again. So what we'll do is if you bring back 5 empty black pots of any size, we take your garbage for you, make sure it gets recycled, and we give you a free fresh face mask to take home as a nice little scheme to encourage recycling. And then Lush upcycles these. They use, once they break this plastic down again, they'll use it in some of the, like the black signage in our shops or in some of the furniture. They've even found ways to turn it into fabric for our like aprons and stuff on the shop floor. So they've really tried to create a closed loop system, even for the plastic that we do use in the shops.
Wow, this is super. It's commendable. Commendable stuff, Miche. Do you plan to have any package-free stores in Dubai soon, if I may ask?
We've always thought about it. Our one little problem is that when the items are naked, they're cocoa butter based, they're shea butter based, they're Mira butter based, and all those beautiful butters and 40-degree humidity, they're not really friends. So we do, with shampoo, you can have in our current shops, there is ways for you to have a plastic-free hair care routine, a plastic-free skincare, shower routine. We have naked options of almost everything. The reason why we haven't approached our own naked concept shop just yet is the fear of what would happen to those products, literally just from shop to car and what that would look like. So absolutely, we've talked about it. Absolutely, it would be something that we would really love to see here. We would probably just have to look at exactly what in the range we could carry during different times of the year to make sure that when you purchase a product, it actually makes it home to your bathroom.
Of course. And I like how you said that you're still getting this all into research and development. And I'm hoping and praying that 2021 will see this new, this new way of, we're already seeing so much new, 2020 is already, I think, taken us down different aisles, different corridors, different gullies that I thought I'd never be able to.
I think people are more open to innovation and new things, right? So it's a good time to be an innovative company right now.
Do that, Miche. Miche, are you also doing any online orders right now with all of us being stuck at home?
Yes. It's a great time to pamper yourself and take some extra time to take care. So with our shops being closed, our mail order business has gone completely through the roof in the most beautiful way. So we are delivering all of our products. Just this week, we actually found a way to deliver our fresh face masks, which are the ones that have to stay on ice because they are 100% natural. So you can order your fresh face mask and get it really quickly straight to your door. And right now we are doing free delivery with a 250 dirham purchase across the region. And we do have websites in Kuwait, Qatar, Saudi, Bahrain, and the UAE. So you're getting your local product and you're able to get it quicker. I know here in the UAE, you can get your Lush product. We've been collaborating with some absolutely phenomenal delivery companies, and we're able to get product to you in about 2 to 3 days.
How amazing are these delivery companies? Yeah, let's give them a good shout out.
All those frontline workers, they're doing a really great job.
What was expected from them. So I'm
really
glad you said, I'm glad you involved them in our interview, Miche. And like I said, it talks so much about you. You're so compassionate.
Thank you.
You're perfect fit, I guess, with Lush.
Well, after 12 years, it's kind of my what I've learned at Lush has become my lifestyle. So I've been vegetarian since I was probably 12 years old. I don't buy Cruelty makeup. I'm very specific about the ranges that I use. I'm not vegan, but I'm consciously trying to remove it's the cheese, it's the ice cream, it's the good stuff. I know that it's not morally good. So I'm also on my journey going through all that. So that's why I'm very passionate about talking about this stuff.
Wow. I have to say this, you are an inspiration inside out. I think we should be looking up to you. Let's hope that we can be the generation that ends animal cruelty, Miche, like you rightfully said when we spoke about where this is all going to be, maybe 2 or 3 years down. I'm not even saying 10 or 20 because then we're really buying time.
Yeah.
I think we should make these smaller changes, maybe just today, maybe just now, maybe this very second after they've watched our interview, isn't it?
Yeah, take it meal by meal, lipstick by lipstick. It's all about leading by
By
example
lipstick.
and lipstick by lipstick. Yeah, it's all about leading by example, right? And if you're not giving money to those companies, then they have to change stuff. So it's knowing the power of your purchase and how that changes how retailers and those big companies create and innovate those products that they give out to you.
Thank you, Miche. Any closing lines before we say bye to you?
No, I think like, the more you think about cruelty free and the more that becomes something that you are passionate about, I think it's taking those small steps. It's a little bit like diet and exercise. It's not going to happen overnight. You're going to make some errors and mistakes, but it's all about just taking some extra time to do that research and making sure that you can feel good about the whole process, from start to finish of anything that you're buying as a consumer, because your dollar or your dirham does have a lot of power in terms of what you buy. And I think leading by example and not preaching too much, just leading by example and sharing your experience is the best way that you can pass on that passion to those around you.
This has been such a 1 hour of power.
You.
I loved interviewing you. I can't stop saying it. Miche, stay with me. I will stop recording, but just stay on my page, please, for a minute. And guys, this is One with Rags. I hope you enjoyed and you guys are taking away so much from this interview, just like I am. So guys, make the change now. Just a moment, Miche.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have a stop recording. Stop recording.